G'day, I'm Dr. Zoe Mitchell. And if I told you that the way you're having a wank today could be completely sabotaging your sexual performance tomorrow, would you believe me? I've been a urologist for over 20 years here in Australia, and I've worked with blokes just like you, incredible men who've carried the weight of erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation without realizing that small habits can make all the difference. I'm not just here as your doctor. I'm here as someone who genuinely understands how much this affects your confidence, your connection with your partner, and honestly, your sense of self as a man. Today, I'm going to reveal the 3 most common mistakes in masturbation that are damaging your sexual health and exactly how to fix them. Stick with me till the end because that last mistake, that's the one my patients tell me changed everything. Before we dive in, drop a comment saying ready to change if you're committed to transforming your sexual health. Or write question if there's something specific you want to share. Your story matters to me, and I read every single comment to support you on this journey. Right. Let's talk about the first mistake. You probably reckon that masturbating the same way every time, same hand, same grip, same pressure, same position, is just about comfort or habit. After all, if it works, why change it? Yeah? A lot of blokes over 60 fall into this routine without realizing the impact. But this is the first major masturbation mistake, what we call the death grip, and it can absolutely wreck your sexual performance. When you get used to one intense, repetitive type of stimulation, your penis starts responding only to that specific pattern, making sex with a partner feel less stimulating. The truth I've learned from my 20 years as a urologist and from studying sexual conditioning is that this sexual monotony creates a real trap. The death grip, whether it's a strong hand pressure or even friction against a mattress, is often way more intense than what you'd experience with a partner. This desensitizes your penis, making it harder to achieve or maintain an erection during actual sex, which can lead straight to erectile dysfunction. Neuroplasticity tells us that your body adapts to repeated stimuli, and this lack of variety in masturbation can completely stagnate your male sexual health. But here's the good news. You can reverse this with some simple changes. So first thing you can do is break that sexual monotony. Try varying your masturbation. Switch hands, use less pressure, change positions, or even add lubricant or a condom to mimic sensations closer to partner sex. This helps reprogram your penis to respond to softer, more varied stimuli, which improves your sexual stamina and ejaculation control. Start with 1 session per week where you explore new ways of touching yourself and notice how your sensitivity improves. I had a patient, 64-year-old tradesman from Brisbane, came to me struggling with this exact issue. He'd been using the same technique for 40 years. Really firm grip, always lying down. Within 6 weeks of changing things up, using lube, switching hands, even trying standing positions, he reported a 40% improvement in his ability to maintain erections with his partner. He told me it felt like rewiring his brain, which is exactly what it is. Now, if you're following along with me here, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Drop your city or state in the comments so I can give you a personal shout out in our next videos. I get genuinely excited knowing this valuable information is reaching blokes all across Australia and beyond. All right, let's move to the second mistake. You probably think masturbation is just about releasing tension quickly, like a 100-meter sprint where the only goal is crossing the finish line as fast as possible. Plenty of men, especially over 60, fall into this habit without realizing the impact. Rushing seems practical, harmless, even natural. But this is another major masturbation mistake that can sabotage your sexual performance. When you train your body to ejaculate quickly, you're conditioning your sexual response for premature ejaculation. It's like teaching your brain and body that speed is everything, and that becomes a bloody hard pattern to break. The truth that science and my 20 years as a urologist have shown me is that this rush creates a vicious cycle. The worry about finishing quickly feeds performance anxiety, which is a genuine erection killer. This anxiety can turn intimate moments into a struggle, leading to erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, even when you desperately want to last longer in bed. Studies on neuroplasticity show that our habits shape how the body responds, and rushed masturbation trains your nervous system to react too quickly. This isn't your fault, but it's something you can change starting today. So what you want to do is turn that 100-meter sprint into a marathon. Set aside private time without any rush to explore your body's sensations. Instead of racing toward climax, learn to surf the wave of arousal. Get close to the point of no return, then back off, breathe deeply, change your rhythm. This sexual training strengthens your ejaculation control and improves your sexual stamina. Start with 10 minutes with no pressure and watch how your body begins responding differently. Think of it like this. If you're always flooring the accelerator in your car, you're going to burn out the engine. Same principle here. Mate, I treated a bloke, 58 years old, who'd been masturbating in under 2 minutes his whole adult life because he grew up sharing a room with his brothers. No privacy, always rushed. When he got married, the pattern stuck. After 8 weeks of practicing this surfing technique, spending 15 to 20 minutes really exploring different sensations, he went from lasting less than a minute with his wife to over 5 minutes. Then 10. He reckoned it saved his marriage. Now I'd like to know what aspect of your sexual health concerns you most right now. If it's mainly premature ejaculation, write number 1 in the comments. If it's more about maintaining firm erections, write number 2. This really helps me create content that's more specific to what our community actually needs, not just what I think you need. Now that you understand how monotony and rushing can hurt you, the next mistake is even more common and could be blocking your sexual health in ways you don't even realize. You probably reckon that pornography is just a harmless tool to spark your arousal, something to liven up masturbation or fill a lonely moment. After all, it's just a click away, always ready, always intense. Plenty of men, especially over 60, see it as a quick fix to rekindle desire. But this is the third major masturbation mistake that damages your sexual performance. Think of pornography like fast food for your sexual brain. It's hyperstimulating, addictive, but completely lacks nutritional value, and the long-term effects can be absolutely devastating. The truth that science and my 20 years as a urologist have taught me is that pornography can desensitize your brain, getting it accustomed to levels of novelty and intensity that real life simply cannot match. This leads to porn-induced erectile dysfunction, where your real partner can feel less stimulating, making it difficult to achieve or maintain an erection. Studies on neuroplasticity show that excessive porn consumption literally rewires the brain, demanding increasingly extreme stimuli. This isn't about guilt or shame. It's about how your brain responds to repeated patterns, and you have the power to change it. So the first thing you can do is a digital detox. Try masturbating without pornography, using only your imagination. Because trust me, your brain is the most powerful sexual organ you've got. Think about real moments from your past. Create new fantasies. Focus on the physical sensations in your body. It can be challenging at first, but try alternatives like erotic literature or sensual audio podcasts to stimulate your mind without visual overstimulation. Start with 1 screen-free session per week and notice how your sexual sensitivity begins to return. I've got to tell you about a patient who really drove this home for me. 62-year-old accountant, been watching porn daily for nearly 15 years. Got to the point where he couldn't get it up with his wife at all, but had no problems with porn. I put him on a strict 90-day porn detox. First 2 weeks were absolute hell for him, he reckoned. But by week 6, he started noticing morning erections again, something he hadn't had in years. By week 12, he and his wife were having sex twice a week with no issues. He told me it felt like waking up from a fog. Now, let me address something I see constantly in the comments and messages from blokes in our community, because it's bloody important. If you're single, separated, or widowed, and you're feeling lonely, that's completely normal and valid. Masturbation isn't something to feel guilty about when you're on your own. In fact, it's healthy. But what I want you to understand is there's a difference between healthy sexual expression and using masturbation to numb loneliness or anxiety. If you're finding yourself doing it multiple times a day, or if it's interfering with your daily life, that might be worth looking at. There's no shame in reaching out to a counselor or therapist to talk through feelings of isolation. And honestly, connecting with others, whether through hobbies, community groups, or even online forums for blokes going through similar experiences can make a massive difference. You're not alone in this, and there's support available if you want it. Right, let's talk practical steps, because I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, Doc, this all sounds good, but what exactly do I do? Here's a specific 4-week plan you can follow. Week 1, just focus on changing one thing. Use your non-dominant hand for masturbation. That's it. Don't change anything else. Your brain will start noticing the different sensation. Week 2, reduce your grip pressure by about 50%. Use lubricant if you need to. This will feel weird at first. You'll probably think it's not enough stimulation, but stick with it. Week 3, change your position. If you always lie down, try standing or sitting. If you always do it in bed, try the shower. You're continuing to rewire those neural pathways. Week 4, add a time element. Aim for at least 15 minutes of exploration before you even think about finishing. Use that surfing technique I mentioned earlier. Get close to climax, then back off. Do this at least 3 times before you actually ejaculate. For the porn detox, I recommend a similar gradual approach if going cold turkey feels too overwhelming. Week 1, reduce your porn use by half. If you're watching daily, go to every other day. Week 2, when you do watch, limit it to 5 minutes before switching to your imagination for the rest. Week 3, try every 3rd session completely porn-free. Week 4, aim for only 1 session with porn, the rest imagination only. By week 8, you should be completely porn-free during masturbation. Track your progress in a journal or on your phone. Note how you feel. Any changes in arousal. Any challenges. This isn't just about stopping a habit, it's about understanding your body better. Now, I know some of you have specific questions, so let me address the most common ones I get. How often is okay to masturbate? Honestly, there's no magic number, but for most blokes, 2 to 3 times per week is a healthy range. If you're doing it daily or multiple times a day, especially with porn, that's when it starts becoming problematic. Is edging harmful? Edging, the practice of getting close to orgasm then stopping, can actually be beneficial for building stamina if done correctly. But if you're constantly edging and never allowing yourself to finish, that can cause discomfort and potentially lead to delayed ejaculation issues. Everything in moderation, mate. How long before I see results? Most blokes notice some improvement within 4 to 6 weeks of changing their habits. Your brain's neuroplasticity means it can rewire, but it takes time and consistency. Don't expect overnight miracles, but do expect gradual, steady improvement. What if I've had prostate surgery? If you've had prostate surgery, your situation is a bit more complex. You might experience retrograde ejaculation where semen goes into the bladder instead of out, or you might not ejaculate at all. This doesn't mean you can't have orgasms or sexual pleasure, but it does mean you need to work with your urologist on a specific rehabilitation plan. Don't try to force things, and definitely don't compare yourself to how things were before surgery. I'm 65 and single. Is it too late to change these habits? Absolutely not. I've worked with blokes in their 70s who've successfully rewired their sexual responses. Your brain remains plastic throughout your life. It might take a bit longer than it would for a younger man, but change is absolutely possible. Let me talk about the loneliness factor a bit more, because I reckon this is what's really at the heart of a lot of these issues. After 20 years in this field, I've learned that sexual dysfunction is rarely just physical. There's almost always an emotional or psychological component. If you've recently gone through a divorce, lost a partner, or you've been single for a long time, masturbation can become a coping mechanism rather than a healthy sexual outlet. That's not inherently bad, but it becomes problematic when it's your only form of intimate connection, even if that connection is just with yourself. I encourage you to explore other ways of feeling connected. Join a men's shed, take up lawn bowls, volunteer, join a hiking group. Physical touch doesn't have to be sexual. A handshake, a pat on the back, even petting a dog releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Human connection is crucial for overall health, not just sexual health. And here's something else I want to say that I don't hear enough doctors talking about. If you're in a relationship and you're experiencing these issues, talk to your partner. I know that's easier said than done, especially for blokes who've grown up in a culture where you don't talk about this stuff. But I've seen countless relationships improve dramatically when couples start having honest conversations about sex. Your partner probably already knows something's up, and they might be blaming themselves. Opening up that dialogue can relieve so much pressure and anxiety, which often improves the physical symptoms as well. If you don't know how to start that conversation, there are sex therapists and relationship counselors who specialize in exactly this. Today, we haven't just talked about 3 masturbation mistakes: sexual monotony, rushing, and pornography. We've talked about a new way of viewing your male sexual health, swapping performance anxiety for confidence, resignation for action. Now you know that the death grip limits your ability to respond to real stimuli, that rushing trains your body for premature ejaculation, and that pornography can desensitize your brain, leading to erectile dysfunction. But most importantly, you've discovered that you have the power to change this. Your neuroplasticity, your willingness to explore variety in masturbation, and your courage to confront these habits can transform not just your sexual performance, but how you feel about yourself. Ask yourself, are you ready to be the man who controls his sexual stamina, who experiences intimate moments with confidence, without fear? These changes, varying your masturbation with lubricant or a condom, surfing the wave of arousal, using your imagination instead of pornography, aren't just techniques. They're a commitment to yourself, to your sexual health, to the moments you still want to experience fully. So start small, but start today. Week 1. Change your hand. That's it. You can do that. Week 2. Add lube and reduce pressure. Week 3. Change position. Week 4. Extend your time. In 4 weeks, you'll be amazed at the difference. And if this message has resonated with you, if it's sparked even a tiny bit of hope, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a mate, a brother, your old man, any bloke who needs to know he's not alone and that it's never too late to change. If this video's been helpful to you, please hit that like button so more men can find this life-changing information. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stick with us for more truths about thriving after 60, because you still matter a hell of a lot. Your journey's only just beginning. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, everyone.